You have done 1,000 times. You have done 1,000 times. You tell yourself that you are getting better, that you are improving. But the truth is, most people never actually improve because they're confused that doing something is making progress. They're confused that repetition is how they master things. So they repeat the same cycle. So they repeat the same cycle over and over again. And this is how they're stuck in the same thing. That's why they are repeating, not learning. And this is why experience does not equal expertise. This is on the next slide. Experience does not equal expertise. This is the lie people believe. Doing something for a very long time will make them an expert in that field or a skill. But that is a lie. Doing something for a year does not mean you are good at it. For example, a driver A, 20 years driving the same route, ignoring GPS, never adapting to new routes, never questioning his methods. He's not actually becoming an expert in this. He literally just has 1 year of experience, which is repeated 20 times. And people think with 20 years of experience, he hasn't become an expert. But that's not true because he's just actually moving in the same route for years. He is just good at that same route. He just actually have just 1 year of experience. He actually just have 1 year of experience. Whereas the driver B, 20 years analyzing what worked, adapting to changes, updating his strategies daily. He has true expertise because he learns from every shift. He learns from every single way possible. He tries to evaluate the new routes, try to evaluate and calculate different routes, and he knows how well he should drive. He knows how to effectively use his fuel and move as faster as possible with making less brake as possible and getting on the destination at the right time. That's what make him an expert because he has learned from his 20 years of experience, not just experience of 20 years, but he have learned from those 20 years also. In short, to become an expert, you must accurately identify when outcome have a lesson to teach you. When outcome have a lesson to teach you. This is important. Because not every outcome have a lesson. But the lesson that outcome gives you is a lesson that you should teach yourself so that you can get better and better over time. Next slide. Why most people never know? Most people do this, which I explained in the already previous video, belief. If you haven't watched the previous video, then just try to understand this. Belief. Bet. When I say bet, it's a decision. Decision. Because all decisions are bet based on beliefs, which leads to outcome. This is a quick side note for those who haven't watched the previous videos, who don't know about this. A belief. First you have a belief, then you make action or decision based on your belief, then you have a set of outcome. And why the belief is important, I have explained this in previous video, but for those who don't know about this, here's a quick explanation. Belief is important because you don't actually make decision based on the reality. You don't actually make decision based on the reality. You make a decision based on your belief about reality. You don't make decision based on reality. You make decision based on the belief about reality. So what you believe about your reality is the most important thing, because that's how you will take the decision, and that decision will lead to an outcome, a set of outcome. So the most common pattern is like this. They have a belief and they take decision or action based on that belief, and they have an outcome, and they will move on to the next action. But they skip the most important step. Why did this happen? It simply means they just forgot to evaluate or think about the decision or think about the decision and the outcome. They forgot to evaluate that why this actually happens. They just don't actually evaluate. What they actually do instead is, if a business fails, they will simply say bad market. Relationships end, they will say wrong person. Exam failed, they will say bad paper. They will simply blame on the other things. And this is why they will never able to change the belief, and they were never able to change their action. And by extension, the outcome is the same. So same belief, same future repeats. So if your belief does not change, your future won't either. This is the most important line here. If your belief doesn't change, your future won't either. I know for some of you this is not making that much sense, because you haven't watched the last two videos. So if you got time, please do watch those, because then it will make a lot of sense to you. Let's go on to the next slide. The ego trap. Why this happened is because of this self-serving bias, which I've named the ego trap. If you are able to notice something, there is a predictable pattern. Pattern goes like this. If you win, and you will say and convey that this happened because of my skills, my intelligence, my efforts. And if you lose, this happened because of bad luck. Other people, the system is raised because it's unfair or something like that. So this is the case for most of the people, and they win. It's because of their skills, intelligence, and efforts. And when they lose, it's because of other factors, bad luck. The system is rigged. For example, we can say that, for example, you gain muscles, and you will say, my training is perfect, that's why I gain muscle. That's my skills, that's my intelligence. You don't lose weight, and when you don't lose weight, you will blame your genetics. Notice that whatever changes, your belief about yourself stays intact. Your belief don't change. And that's why the outcome stays the same. So the belief stays the same, the mistakes repeat. And this is a very common mechanism. And this mechanism is almost in everyone. A self-serving bias. Another very interesting part, well, let's not spoil it. The interesting part is coming. When you have this bias, I mean, obviously, all of you have. Blaming other feels good, but makes you stupid. I know you have heard about feminine standards, but have you ever heard about the human double standard? Here it is, human double standard. Your success, you will call it skill. But if other people's success, you will call them luck. If you win, you will consider that you are great, you are awesome. And if your brother wins, you will say, he got lucky. That's why. And your failure, you will say, it's luck. It's bad luck. It's based on other factors, it's not my fault. But when other people fails, you will say, they're incompetence. They're not working hard enough. You know how this is? Goes from this to this. This is actually double standard, to be honest. I will take an example here. You're promoted. For example, you're promoted. You will say, I've earned it. But when another co-worker promoted, he kissed ASS. Or he got lucky. So it's not that bad, but it will not help you and it will cost you things. Most biggest cost is this. This biased assessment slows your learning because we dismiss competitors' success instead of learning from them. We dismiss competitors' success instead of learning from them. This is why it's the biggest cost, because you are literally stop learning from people which are beating you. You are not learning from those people who are literally better than you. Instead, you are just calling it a luck, and that's how you don't learn, and that's how you don't improve. That's how you just feel good. That's how you just feel good and stays the same. This is a very big problem if you think about it. Let's move on to the next slide. The real learning loop. So what's the correct loop? First, belief, then bet, or action or decision. Then there is outcome. Then, this is the step most are missing. Then, before updating a belief, you have to find out whether it was skill or luck. You have to find it out first. And this alone step is the difference between growing old and growing better. I know there was a famous quote that goes like, everyone grows old, but not everyone grows up. Wisdom comes from learning. It was a quote something like this. That shows that everyone grows old, but not everyone grows better. To learn, you must feed the data from an outcome back into your belief formation. In short, the goal is actively using outcome to examine your belief, reduces uncertainty and make your future predictions more accurate and help you achieve better outcomes. This is the goal. The goal is to actively use our outcome to examine our belief and correct them so that we can make better decisions and by extension get better results and outcome. Now, here is just a quick slide for this, because you have to identify whether the outcome was skill-based or luck-based. The skill-based bucket, this is the skill bucket. So the skill-based bucket is where your decision making skills or the things that are actually in control of you comes in. Use this for the outcome resulting from your own decision. If changing your decision would predictably change the result, it belongs here. You have to identify that whether the outcome involves more of a skill or more of a luck. Although that is known as 100% skill based or 100% luck, is nothing like this. But you have to know that whether it's how much skill are there actually need in that decision. So, because you can't actually change the luck. For example, you're playing golf and somehow you hit a ball, you hit a golf ball, and due to weather or wind, the ball actually goes into the hole. So it's not that you are actually a skilled player. It just luck comes. Luck helped you. That was a lucky shot. So that is luck. That is not your skill. So don't say that I'm a very skilled person. Say that I was lucky at that time. And then you have to work on your skills instead of using the self-serving bias and feeling good. Keep bucket. Use this for the things you cannot control. These are things that are not in our control. The action of others, the weathers, or your genes. Things that are in your control, skills. Things that are not in your control, luck. And other people, weather, genes. This comes in the luck, and uncontrollable things come under the luck bucket. And why this is hard? Well, it's very hard for some of you. The reason why it's hard is because life is not chess. Because in chess, bad move equals to clear loss. But in life, bad moves sometimes will still win. Good moves sometimes will still lose. In short, we can say outcome alone lies. You have to use your consciousness and your mental cognitive power to actually find out whether it was a good move or bad move first, and then think whether it involves skills or luck, and then you have to improve on the skill basis. That's how you upgrade your belief and get better. So you have to treat outcome as a feedback if you let them be. Yes. Every outcome is information. Every outcome is information, but people don't treat it that way. People don't treat it that way. Treat outcome as prove they are smart or prove that world is unfair. Yes. Instead of that, you have to stop chasing validation from that outcome. You have to stop treating outcome as the proof that you are smart or the proof that the world is unfair. You don't have to use outcome this way. Instead, you have to use outcome as a data or feedback so that you can improve. How? First with this. A bad outcome is not proof you are wrong as a person. It signals that some things in your belief or decision might be off. A good outcome is not a trophy. It's a chance to check what actually worked and what was just luck. If you take outcome personally, you will defend yourself. But if you take outcome as a feedback, you will improve. And that is the goal. We have to improve on a constant basis so that we can achieve good things and great things in life and live a better life. Because we don't like to stay stuck. We actually like us more when we are making progress. So how to actually think, or how top performers think differently? The elite pattern, we can say. After winning, elite performers ask, where could I have done better? Where could I have done better? After losing, they ask, what part was actually my fault? What part was actually my fault? And this is a very powerful way of thinking and analyzing. Because if this thing compounds, there is nothing that is stopping you from achieving great things. And this is a very powerful way of analyzing and going ahead in life. Because if you are constantly moving forward and you are constantly seeking feedback from the outcomes and you are constantly learning and improving, there is nothing in this world that is stopping you from achieving that thing. Just be consistent enough to put efforts and keep learning. From every win, you have to make this, ask yourself this. From every loss, ask yourself this. And answer this, update your belief, and get better and get ahead. Why this work? Because when you do this, you will learn from both wins and losses. And most people learn from either. Most people never even learn from the things that actually are going in their life. And you will start learning from both wins and losses. You're going to be in top 1%. Most people never learn. Smart people learn from losses, and brilliant people learn from both wins and losses. And that is why they are brilliant, because they are constantly learning. And that is how you can also be, because now you got the secret sauce. Just use it. In the end, I would like to add, you can have the most perfect plan to achieve $1 billion. But if you don't take action, you don't execute anything. If you don't execute anything, that means nothing. It's totally zero. Peace.